The answer to most of these questions is talk to people and get the hell out of your little bubble chamber that you're sitting in all day, every day. Well, how do I just go try it? Jack it up, man. You'll at least learn how not to do it.
What do you talk about with the VPs of the company? Because I don't know what to expect. I asked the HR, like, do you have any tips for that? And he was like, just be yourself.
So, to make a connection with someone, you'd really like to have 3 points of contact as a minimum. And sometimes you might have to manufacture them. Maybe you get lucky and you both went to the same school, and he's from an area that's close to where you're from, and he knows a guy that you know. And you mention all three of those. Hey, I saw you went to Mississippi State. Oh, that's super cool. Yeah, I used to live not far from Nashville. Oh, you know Sam? Yeah, I know him. Oh, cool. All right. Well, Sam said you were a great guy, so let's get started. Now you've already established rapport and made a connection. People are going to hire people that they feel comfortable with, and that's fortunate and unfortunate. It's fortunate if you can make that connection. It's unfortunate if you don't match their color, race, creed, experience, major, school they went to, and all those kind of things, right? Because you can get screened out. And that's why you want to get around those things as much as possible. You want to get around these gatekeepers and have 5 or 6 people trying to hire you from this company. But anyway, just look and see what it is in the company. If there's one vice president, cool. Maybe it's a culture fit. Maybe it's almost like talking to the top guy or the owner or something like that. If it's the VP of engineering and it's an engineering job, that's sweet, right? If it's the VP of upholstery or floral design, maybe they're just filling a spot. You also got to see where you're at in the sequence. If you talk to the HR guy, you've never talked to anybody in engineering or staff or manager, and you're already to the VP guy, well, you need to figure out how big this company is, right? If it's super small, you need to go in and show him that you can wear a lot of hats and you can handle stuff for him and do all the stuff that he needs. If it's a really big company, you need to kind of get a feel for why the hell didn't you talk to somebody in between? When do they actually assess your skills? And if they haven't at that point and you're going in to talk to the VP of engineering, you're probably going to get a skills assessment.
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting. This is a product development position. So yeah, I'm expecting and they work with automation and all that. So I'm expecting kind of like PLC questions. I'm not sure if it's gonna be that or if it's gonna be other
Sure.
things there.
Well, you also want to look at their age, who they are. Are they a boomer, Gen X? Are they a millennial? All those kind of things. So you get a feel for the older ones are going to ask you stupid questions like how much dirt is in a hole 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot. What do you think, Alex? How much dirt's in a hole 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot? Quick.
Well,
Come on, quick.
how much foot is? Sorry, what you were cutting out on
So
me.
you didn't hear me, right? So he's already
I
out.
did not.
We already let this guy go. How much dirt's in a hole 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot?
I feel like it's a trick question.
Come on, quick. You don't need a calculator.
A foot cubed?
You think there's dirt in a hole.
Oh, see, I told you.
Is there a 4th of July in England?
Depends on what calendar you celebrate.
Well, already you've told me that you're apprehensive and won't make a decision. So if that was a job where I needed a decision maker, you're already out. You got me? And those are what they're somewhat designed to do, but sometimes, unfortunately, the interviewer got to ask that crap back in his day, and so he's just trying it because he doesn't know anything else to do, and it's completely useless for the job. But you should probably study up on stupid interview questions like that so you'd already be ready for that. That way you can get through to the actual stuff. I will say this, if they do ask you something that just seems asinine, like describe an elephant in the room, what the hell are you even talking about? Just come straight back at them. Hey, can you explain to me how this fits in with how I do the job? Because I'd really like to show you how I can do the job. I have no idea. This seems like a trick question. It seems like I'm back in school or something. Like, can you be straight with me what we're trying to do here?
And what would be kind of the questions that you will ask if you were in my position, something like that?
All right, so here's a really good question, and it actually saved me once, got me thrown out of an interview, and got me a job offer. So it's done one of all three. I would ask, what makes you get up and come in here every day?
Okay. Like the why question.
I was top of class, great experience. I was the sought after diamond when I was coming. I had 12, 15 job offers when I finished school and another 10 when I finished grad school. I had already researched the company. I knew everything there was to know. What I was looking for was culture fit. Because I wasn't in the interview if I didn't want the job and didn't want to work for the company. I'd just go to interviews unless I needed some practice or hadn't had one in a while. So if I was sitting there with them, they were exactly who I wanted to work for. Now I needed to make sure they were the right people, that the culture was right, that I was going to be able to get along with people, that they were going to, invest in me and help me train and give me the opportunity to work really hard because that's who I was, right? So I would ask those kinds of questions, like what makes you get up and come in here every day? And it was interesting because I had one, and the lady was in HR, and it was for a manufacturing company. And I really liked the company, and I really liked the location. And her answer to me, Freddie, was, don't. Like, don't come in here. This job sucks. I'm quitting in 3 weeks. I hate this place. It's the worst culture I've ever been in. And I was like, oh, appreciate your time. That saves me greatly. I had another where it made the person so angry, they actually walked me to the door. Now, that told me immediately that wasn't the place for me, right? If I can't ask a question and get answered, but I'm going to be shown to the door. And I got to looking, no one had ever worked there more than like 1 or 2 years. The place was just a revolving door of turnover. And you could tell why just from the answer to that question. Now, be careful how you ask it. So if you come in and it's fast paced, they need a lot of help, they don't have anybody, and your first question is, hey, will you pay for me to go to grad school? You're probably being shown the door. You can ask that in a different way, though. Has anyone here gotten advanced degrees while working here? And are we able to work that in where we can make sure you get all your work done, yet still get smarter so that we can do more? Work on the wording of that. Practice that in front of the mirror. Mock interview each other so you can practice saying that over and over again. But whatever these things are that are kind of like non-negotiables for you, if you do want to get a master's and you do want to do it while you're at the company, you need to kind of bring that up, but you have to do it in a way that makes sense for them. You don't ask questions that only you care about, if that makes any sense, Freddie. Like the worst question anyone can ask and is asked all the time, how many weeks of vacation do I get? I don't even know if you can do the job yet, and you're already asking about vacation. Maybe you're not as dedicated as I thought for the person that I might want. Think about that. If you were hiring somebody and the first questions they ask are what are the benefits and how much vacation do I get and how soon can I take it, and you're a young startup that needs people that are excited about what you're doing, that's probably not a good fit.
Yeah, because I was thinking, I wanted to ask things about the job of what I'm gonna do, but I don't know to what extent they will think that, oh, you didn't read the description of the job or whatever.
Okay, so you can always phrase it as, hey, let me clarify something. My impression at this point is you're going to have me doing X. Is that accurate? If you've already had a technical interview and you're asking the VP of engineering what you're going to do every day, that doesn't make any sense either. So again, it's back to where is this in the process and what have each of you told each other? What does he know of what you've already done? That's another one. Like I've been in companies where they had the same, 3 different people ask you the same stupid question because they didn't realize the other one had already done it. So that immediately tells you it's a corporate crazy place that doesn't communicate, which could be good. Then you can fly below the radar and get your experience. And for you, you could get your visa done because it's a big company and you could fly under the radar and hide from people and make some money and start a side business while you're working there and all that kind of stuff, right? But on the flip side, if you want to work somewhere where you can progress and make a difference and not, lose your mind with corporate meetings and politics and crap like that, then they immediately tell you that's probably not the place for you, right? What if they leave you on read? Is that what you're saying, Zoe? Well, there's more than one way to get to people, okay? And this is one of my biggest problems with the under 30 crowd. There's more than one way to connect with people, and text is not the only way. Mail them a stupid letter. How somebody got in with me the other day, they sent me a hand-addressed, handwritten, stamped letter. I haven't seen one of those in 22 years. Find a way. Send a basket. Show up. What'd you do, Freddie? First time you met me, you stood outside my door for like 2 hours. And then when someone finally let you in, you had to sit there for like another hour till I got out of meetings. And then you only got like, what'd I give you? Like one question? Like, dude, you got a minute. What you got? Sometimes you just got to make yourself available. So how do you get in? The biggest answer to that, Freddie, is you don't take no for an answer. And even admit to that. Here's something we do with our customers. I was on the phone with one the other day. We were talking through a meeting and, okay, well, it looks like you have an opportunity. And Mike, our sales guy, is trained to either get a job or a restraining order. So he's going to keep calling you for the rest of your life until we get an opportunity. And everybody laughs about it. But we are serious. He's going to keep calling the guy. But at least I've called it out and made it clear. You can let them know that. Hey, I'm going to message you every Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern for the rest of my life and the rest of your life until you give me 1 minute of your time in exchange for a DoorDash lunch. And then you know what? Every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Eastern, no matter where you are in the entire earth, if you're in the hospital, that email or that call goes in. Took me 17 calls to get into one customer. Every Tuesday morning, 9 a.m., he got a message from me. Hey, I'm calling back again like I said I would. And you know what? Next week, I'm going to call again until you give me a chance. Don't take no for an answer is the answer to your question, Freddie.
So I interviewed with this company at the beginning of the month. Like it went really well. I had everything happy. It was the director of engineering and it was all cool. But he told me that if you don't hear from us in 2 weeks or after 2 weeks, don't freak out. We'll be reaching out. It's been more than 2 weeks. And I'm like, dude. So the thing is that next
That's an
week,
easy email or call then, right?
yeah.
Hey, dude, it's Freddie. It's been more than 2 weeks. I'm still not freaking out, but just touching base. That's easy peasy, right?
Because next week is the national convention and they're gonna be there. So I don't know if it's like way to ask them. It's like, hey, I interviewed with this
Hit him
guy.
up beforehand and say, hey, can we connect at the convention? What days are you going to be there? And then as soon as you connect with him, he'll be obligated to tell you what's going on. The answer to most of these questions is talk to people and get the hell out of your little bubble chamber that you're sitting in all day, every day. Well, how do I just go try it? Jack it up, and you'll at least learn how not to do it. Alex, thoughts on negotiating a salary for the first job out of college? Yes, be really good at it and do it. Is that a good enough answer? There are 10,000 books, trainings, YouTube videos on things you can ask for in a negotiation, especially on a salary right out of school. If you haven't chat GPT'd that and pulled all that stuff together, then what the hell are you doing? Because that can make you more money right now than anything. There are more than enough tools to answer every single one of these questions out there for you to build a system of how to get hired and negotiate your. And think about it. You could probably pull the stats on what the average number of jobs in an engineer's career are. I bet it's 4 or 5. So you're going to do this 4 or 5 times. You're probably going to talk to 4 to 5 companies each time. So you've got 20 to 25 of these to go. So why wouldn't you get really good at it? Why wouldn't you build a system of connections and people and a CRM and ways to talk about this stuff? And why not put all that together? Hell, you could even probably sell it online in a PDF or a package or a course. You could be one of those cats that doesn't do shit but sells stuff to people on how to do shit. I've had to do it for my job, but I've heard some say you have nothing to go off of and others say without a doubt do it. Oh, okay. Well, if your question is, should I negotiate my salary? I think that is something that you should probably ask in the interviewing process, especially when you get the offer. Hey, Freddie, this is Zane with Phoenix. Congratulations, we're going to make an offer. This is engineering staff one. We're going to offer $62K a year. It comes with a full benefit package we talked about. Freddie would say, awesome, dude. I greatly appreciate that. That's amazing. I've been impressed with you and your work, this whole situation. We've been through this, and I really appreciate your time and energy. I'm going to take some time to think about this. Can you let me know 2 things? Do I have a deadline for an answer? And is this negotiable? Are there items in here that we could talk through? Maybe that number or benefits or training or maybe some of those kind of things. And let's see what they say. Now, you might end up like me. I had one company that when I asked that question in a slightly different form, they said, hey, we need you to negotiate. And so when I came in with my counteroffer, they immediately pulled the job because they didn't think they could ever have me happy. And I'm like, you just told me to negotiate, and I did, and you pulled the offer. Like, what the hell? And it's cool because that pretty much told me I didn't need to work at this place. If they're going to play games like that, you probably don't want to be there for a long period of time, right?